Describe to me what you remember of the day.
On that day, what I remember is it had been very hot, and then it got very, very still. I was home about 3 miles away from it, actually.
Where were you
At home, but it was 3 miles from the center.
In Rutland?
In Rutland, yeah. And then we heard, I guess, I don't remember how we heard that there had been a tornado. And my father was working in Holden, and in order to get home, he had to go all back roads. And then we went back up to the center to see, because my aunt lived in the center.
What did you see?
Just devastation. The houses were gone. In the lower part of Main Street, it went right across Main Street, and then over towards Holden. And the houses were just gone.
Just gone?
Just gone, yeah.
Foundations were there and nothing
The
was?
foundations and a mess, wood all over.
What were you thinking?
I don't remember what I was thinking. I was in the 8th grade. And actually, one of the people, we had 2 people who were killed from Rutland. And the man who was killed was my teacher. He was our 8th grade. Donald Marsh was our principal, but he was also the 8th grade teacher. And his house was demolished, I guess. And we never got a report card or anything that year because I guess it blew away
At the end of the year? They just called off school for the rest of the year?
No, I don't remember if we must have gone back because that was only June 9th.
Okay. Does it seem like yesterday?
In a way. And you drive down Main Street and you remember it. It's something you always think of when you see new houses where there were big old houses. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Superb. Thank you so much. Okay, your name is?
Carolyn Root, R-O-O-T.
You're with him? With the quiet guy? With John?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Your son? Your husband? Your father, I mean. He's your dad?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah, that's what I meant.
He's my
Okay,
brother-in-law.
go back.
That's okay.
Is that what he is? Okay. Okay, wait, hold on.
Start
over.
again.
Start over. No, go ahead. 3, 2, 1, go ahead, your name.
My name is Carolyn Root, R-O-O-T. It was Bartek, B-A-R-T-E-K, back then.
So, Karen,
Carolyn.
The day of the event,
Yes.
tell me your story.
The first thing was I was at first grade, and my teacher's name was Mrs. Wentworth. And she was from the South, and I walked home behind her. It was so humid, and she said to the teacher, Mrs. Campbell, that she was with, "This is just like tornado weather down home." So I went home and told my mother, my teacher said we're having a tornado. And whatever that was, I didn't really know. And my mother said no, that my father, who was born and raised in Texas, when he came home, because he worked at the VA, he would tell me about a tornado. So my father came home at 4:45. We couldn't get to the cellar. The windows were popping in. And at 5 minutes of 5, we had no electricity. The storm had been and gone.
So, what do you remember when you went outside after that?
That I didn't want to go back in the house, and my sister wasn't coming out. And we had a stone wall that you had to go outside to go to the cellar with wooden steps. And there was this stone wall. My father had parked his car normally, and after the storm went through, we were probably, his car, the back wheels were less than an inch away from going over this stone wall. Yep.
Were you afraid or too young to be afraid?
It happened too fast. We just all stood in a huddle and at the door, because my father said, you got to stand here. I had a 2-year-old sister and a less than 6-month-old brother, so he just kind of took us all and huddled us together.
So when you think of it now, 60 years ago, does it seem like yesterday, or is it?
Oh, a lot of it, yes, definitely.
Remember the details?
Yeah, yep. I can remember the lady next door. She had cooked spaghetti sauce all day. And so when she finally came out of the house, she was so upset because she didn't have electricity and couldn't cook the spaghetti for the sauce. But, it was, because I lived right in the center of town.
Okay.
Yep.